Alright, flying an RAF Mosquito on an Intruder mission over Germany in the vicinity of the city of Bonn. Got a Ju-88 on my nose that I'm targeting, and I'll reel them in for a head-on pass. I've got 4 20mm cannons and 4 50 cals. The scenario is not wholly realistic, and I'll explain in what sense, but I wanted to experience this form of night combat in the sim. Absolutely devastating amount of firepower, as you can see, and I'll show you some other angles. I spot another bomber, but I would like to show you the replay first. There's my chase plane point of view, and then I'll show you his point of view with me in the blue circle. Boom. Really intense there. Now this scenario, as I said, is not perfectly realistic. I would normally have an AI radar set that my navigator would be using. Got a bomber on my nose here, he sees me. I would also have a system called Narrated, which is a passive detector of enemy night fighter radars. I don't have any of those, so I'm relying on old school visual acquisition of the target, which was obviously much more difficult. But this level of moonlight is not unrealistic for a full moon with a blackout enforced across the terrain there. All the lights out. There he is. So 2-seat aircraft, and the reason I've been studying this airplane is that the navigator radar operators are kind of the predecessor of my own career field as a naval flight officer, so I'm pretty interested in that. Also, this night war had a lot of electronic warfare elements, so it just feels like where it all began for my career field. There's the bomber again. Now, this kind of visual fighting that is taking place was not atypical. Bombers could spot each other and would perform these sort of twisting, evasive maneuvers and try to reacquire each other, and often could. You also added searchlights and flak to the mix. It's a very dynamic environment. And even a big Lancaster bomber would find itself doing some pretty fancy maneuvers to try to get away from a night fighter. So it's just a whole other realm. Really fascinating part of history, and really enjoying learning more about it. It's not often addressed in our world of flight sims and IL-2 and DCS, but it's definitely worth looking at. And here's a replay. Those 50 cals that you can see sticking out of my nose would not be there. I would normally have a smooth nose with a radar set, but the 4 20mm are really all you need. And remember also, for every tracer you see, there's several actual rounds going out. And sometimes they use no tracer at all in order to not be detected as they try to bring down a target, because tracers can give you away. Alright, doing an approach here. For some reason, I think I may have oversped my flaps. I'm not super familiar with all the numbers on the Mosquito. I didn't research it as I normally would. I just wanted to get in there and fly it. So I'm doing a no flap, fast approach. But you know, I'll get a handle on all that. But this is good, safe landing, and just some of the really cool details in IL-2. Once we come to a stop, I open the hatch. Just having the navigator physically sitting there next to you, it adds an element of realism. Those stars that are right near my gun sight there, I actually use those to navigate. Really, really interesting to turn out the sun and fly and fight at night. Alright, coming to a stop. Really good mission. I'm going to definitely try more of this. Thanks for joining me.